hard to find anything to be excited about anymore because it just kind of like constantly feels like it's the end of the world. It's like I'm watching Drag Race and I'm looking at Bosco and I'm like, do I have gender envy or do I just think that Bosco is like the prettiest person I've ever seen in the whole world? Like I'm going on a trip. It's kind of just like, what's the point? I think I gotta go, you know, like on TV, like where like something beckons you toward it. It's like kind of happening with this like Snoopy phone I have. I gotta go. I'll call you back and I will tell you what happened. Oh, hello, hi. Are you Victoria? Oh, you're looking for the other Victoria. Well, she can't come to the camera right now. She's dead. Let's get into this sassin' summertime. And these brands cannot stop releasing sunscreens, specifically tinted sunscreens. And e.l.f. has thrown their hat in the ring. $18, 1 ounce, 18 colors. A hydrating serum-like skin tint that delivers light, buildable coverage with a natural dewy finish. Plus mineral SPF 50 sunscreen with no white cast. Brands, come here. Stay over there. I don't like you very much. Not in this economy. Tariffs? What? Oh, please stop making tinted sunscreens, or at least don't present it like a range. Of course, make tinted sunscreens for those who need it, people with a deeper skin tone. I already have SPFs that I like, and I can wear them under a skin tint that has no SPF in it. But when you start throwing SPF into these skin tints, I have to now worry about what kind of SPF you put in your skin tint. Is the sunscreen I wear already going to wear okay underneath it, or will that counteract the sunscreen in the tint so that I now no longer really have an effective sunscreen on my skin? Please stop. I literally can't handle it anymore. Merritt, you too. People who don't believe in SPF or chemical SPF are like, don't you wear that SPF? Just put on fat from a cow. That's fine. Just do that. And then all the people who are like, I prefer mineral sunscreens are like, get that octibenzone on my face. And then all the people who really don't care just want an effective sunscreen and will wear chemical sunscreen are just like, I already got my sunscreen. Please stop. Every time one of these SPFs that are tinted come out, there is so much conversation, which I just think confuses the sunscreen conversation further. I believe in science. I believe that SPF works. I will refer you to Dr. Dre, Lab Muffin, Science Bunny. Did I get that right? Michelle. And then I will also refer you to Charlotte, who is one of the founders of Do. She had a whole thing on her Instagram talking about what SPFs you can layer over top of other SPFs. People probably already aren't wearing SPF right. I feel like we're this little echo chamber. We're over here talking about sunscreen. We're like, you can't. And then the rest of the world's like, I've been buying copper tone my whole life and I don't really get burned and it works for me. And then they see us acting all crazy over in the corner. And then the beef tallow people win! Make a beautiful skin tint that will wear well over any other sunscreen, and we will love that. And then if you want to make an SPF outside of your skin tint, go ahead. But please, for the love of God, stop making a skin tint with SPF in it. Because here's the other thing. I do not want to wear that much of a skin tint. Depending on the size of your face, you need about like a 1/4 teaspoon. I think it's either that or a 1/2 teaspoon. That is the amount of this that you would have to apply to get the SPF that is promised on the sunscreen. Do you want to wear that much? And you might be thinking, I probably already wear that much foundation. You don't. You don't. 2 fingers is also an alternative method, and then put that on your face. That's so much skin tint. I just don't want to wear it like that. I don't think anyone really wants to wear it like that. So people are buying this, people who are not on the internet hearing this echo chamber that's happening over in the corner. They pick up this SPF and they're like, oh my God, e.l.f. made my perfect sunscreen. It has coverage and I can just put a little bit of it on my face and then I get 50 SPF. That's not how it works. You're just confusing everyone. Everyone shut up. Everyone stop. I can't do it anymore. Something that I would like to note, this is $18 and it comes in a 1 ounce package. Now, SPF typically for the face normally comes in 1.7 ounces. And so if you are using the recommended dosage of the skin tint to get the amount of SPF, you'll run through this pretty quickly. The Merit one does have 1.7. That is expensive. When you break it down, I still think it is more expensive than this e.l.f. one per ounce. However, I think there's some value that is perceived that isn't actually there in this product, unless you are someone who knows how to layer sunscreens and you don't want to apply the whole amount. Anyway, this conversation, we could go in circles forever. Please stop confusing us. Just release a quality SPF that is easy to use, that whenever you put it on your face, it doesn't feel greasy, slimy, dry, or whatever. And then we can all move on with our lives and we can put on your beautiful skin tint that has no SPF in it and we will all be happy. The one thing I will ever thank Lisa Eldridge for is that skin tint. It's just a skin tint. And thank God for that. That's not plugged in. Hello? No one offers me sponsorships, but I don't have one on Critical SASS. No, the phone was closed. No, this isn't an ad read. No. Right. Okay, no. Right. Do you want to tell them because you're not looking like I do right now? Right. You're doing Critical SASS. Oh, the donation. Yeah, that's all. Yeah. Oh, there's the camera. I'm gonna hang up on you now. I have work to get back to. Yeah, I'll tell them. Well, I wish they would have told me this at another time. I would have done my makeup for you or something. This Critical SASS is a fundraiser. Critical SASS has always been my best performing video on my channel. I do it like once a month, once every couple of months. And when I talk about the new makeup releases, it just gets the most traction in the algorithm, which is why I wanted to do a fundraiser with this video. I will be donating all of the AdSense, super thanks, and super chats that I might receive because we are doing a premiere. So I should be over there in the chat laughing along with you during this Critical SASS premiere. But if you are watching later, you can still donate. I usually link to a couple of different places you can donate your money to in my pinned comment, but in this video I will only be linking to donate to Sisters Pittsburgh. I just wanted to keep this more focused. Sisters Pittsburgh is a Black trans-led organization that helps Black trans Pittsburghers get the resources they need, such as housing and other things they might need. Black trans women are the most marginalized people in the LGBTQ community, so I wanted to do something to support them directly. If you wanted to donate, you can leave a super thanks, a super chat. If you want to donate directly to them, please feel free to do that. All of the money is going to go directly back to them, and if you do leave a super chat or a super thanks, YouTube is going to take a cut of that money anyway. And also, if you wanted to use the receipt for tax purposes, you could do that yourself. I just wanted to raise awareness for Sisters Pittsburgh and point you in that direction. YouTube won't pay me out for June until about the 21st of July, and at that time, I will make the donation. I'll show you the receipt so you can see that I have donated, and all of the funds that this makes on AdSense, super thanks, and super chats from now until the end of June 2025 will be donated to Sisters Pittsburgh. You might be thinking, when you want more time to raise money, well, Critical SASS, because it's a new makeup release video, it's a quick flash in the pan, even though it's my best performing video. These are not the kind of videos that people come back to and grow in viewership over time. These are just very topical videos, so it probably won't see much traction past the end of June anyway. With all that being said, please donate to Sisters Pittsburgh, and now let's get into the rest of the SASS. Experience the ambery allure of Maison Margiela's Replica Ideal One Eau de Parfum, a unisex fragrance designed to evoke the intimacy of your perfect match. Top notes: Elemi essence, orange essence, Calabrian bergamot. The heart notes are orange blossom accord, lavender heart, and then the base notes are vanilla infusion, wood essence, styrax, and skin musk. This is beautiful. This bottle is beautiful. It makes me want to turn off the lights and get to know myself better. Replica's usual packaging is like this kind of more clinical white label on a clear bottle. It's not like unpleasant to look at, but like, this is sexy. Black and silver, ooh. It's so good, honey. Ooh. However, whenever I get to the notes, it's supposed to be like a skin scent, which is like nice, and I do like skin scents. However, this one seems to have like a lot of citrus notes in it, and I don't dislike citrus, but it's like not the number one thing I'm trying to wear. I don't know. This is something that I definitely would want to smell, but also in a very real way, I probably wouldn't buy. I have a lot of beautiful fragrances. I have some skin scents I like. I have Glossier You Do, which it probably doesn't smell like this at all, but I have it, and it's a skin scent, and I really love it, and I've been using it. I'm like halfway through the bottle, and let me just keep using that bottle, babe. Replica, if you want to send this to me, hit a bitch up. Sometimes I wonder if I'm like having a crisis, if I'm like in my midlife and like this is it. You know who's having more of a life crisis? Dior. This is the second or third time they've reformulated these powder blushes, and now they're square instead of rectangular, and some of the colors shifted around. It's like every year this gets released. I feel like every year I'm talking about it in Critical SASS, but how? I've been doing Critical SASS since 2022, and I have talked about these in at least 3 of those Critical SASSes. It's 2025. Do you know how many other brands I have had to talk about the same product 3 times in Critical SASS? None. The now iconic Dior Backstage Rosy Glow Powder Blush features pH activating technology for a custom result that is buildable and long wearing. They did get rid of one of the shades that if I were to buy one of these blushes again, I did own one of these blushes, but it was gifted to me by a friend, the original Coral. And then they reformulated those, and then they released more colors. But there was like a shade when they released more colors, I think it was called Mahogany.
That is mahogany.
And I thought that was really pretty, but it definitely was for someone with a deep complexion. That's never stopped me before. I do think that the shades are really really pretty. There are some bright punchy pops that look like they might be pigmented enough for people with deeper complexions. I have never liked the packaging of these Rosy Glow blushes because whenever I had the coral one, I was so shocked to find out that it wasn't clear plastic. It was plastic that looked like it was clear that was painted orange under a layer of plastic. And then when you opened it, it was like the actual, it was wild. So I don't know if this packaging is like that. The Dior backstage stuff is never appealed to me. If I'm gonna buy Dior, I wanna buy boring Dior. I wanna be able to be like, this is Dior, not like, this is Dior.
Pardon me?
It's a different vibe. I don't even know what Dior backstage is about. Like, I don't know why Dior decided to do backstage because it's like not much less expensive than the regular Dior line. I just like don't get it. The thing is, and this is why the lavender one is the only one I'm showing you, is because it's pretty. I've been really into a lavender blush. These are $40, by the way. The powder blushes, they say that they have that pH adjusting ingredient in it. The Dior blush, at least the version that I tried, it didn't really shift pink. If that ingredient is in these, it's like very little of it. That's a weird selling point. If they were pH adjusting, they would all be pink. One thing I do remember about this blush was that it was pretty blurring. So if it's still that blurring, that'd be cool. But I have to imagine the version that I tried of it might have had talc in it. And I'm sure these ones don't because nothing gets formulated with talc anymore. If you're not into a powder blush, they said, what about a cream? I do like this packaging. I think it's a little more slick than the powder blush packaging. And it also, I think, comes in the exact same 7 shades that the powder blushes do. I will say I'm a little more skeptical of the pH adjusting experience in a cream. I don't know. I just feel like any creamy or like lip product that I have tried that has a pH adjuster in it, it's like always hot pink. So I don't know if it's the same as the powder blushes where it's like a little bit adjusting, but like it doesn't really make everything hot pink. I know that reviews of this are already out. This is one of those things that if I saw someone say they liked it, I'd be like, well, I need to buy it now. And I don't need to buy it now. I have so much beautiful makeup that times they be uncertain. And I want to go on trips and I want to see my friends. And like, that's what I want to do right now. So maybe buying a blush is like prohibiting one of those experiences. A nice dinner, a couple of drinks at the gay bar. If you have a lesbian bar, go to the lesbian bar, support lesbian bars. I am a lesbian. These are $44 and this is how they describe them. In just one swipe, this long-lasting, buildable, and creamy stick blush format of Rosy Glow delivers pH-activated custom color with a natural dewy glow finish. I think it's nice that it's buildable, and the fact that it is buildable kind of leads me to believe that perhaps it is not super pH adjusting. I like that the color on the outside of the packaging indicates what the color inside is, as otherwise you'd be opening all the sticks every time you wanted to use one or trying to read the color on the bottom. And I don't know about anyone who else is aging, which is all of us, but whenever you're getting older, those little words on the bottom of lipsticks and things are very hard to read. Guess I really don't have a problem with the blushes. But what I do have a problem with, heart stars, horseshoes, clovers and blue moons, pots of golden rainbows, this lip balm with a charm on it. You know how I feel about charm makeup. Do you remember when Carolina Herrera said, you can make a charm bracelet out of eyeshadows, it's fine. Dior isn't saying to wear this on your bracelet or labubu it on your bag. I still don't quite know what a labubu is. It's like the first time I've ever felt middle-aged, but then I was on TikTok and there are young people who are like, what the fuck is up with labubu? I feel better about that. I was like, this must have been what my mom thought whenever Beanie Babies came out. Let me read what they say. And then I'm gonna tell you how much it costs, because that is the crazy part. Dior Addict Lip Glow Butter is a hybrid gloss balm lip treatment with a buttery texture that provides intense hydration and subtle high shine color. Available in 5 juicy shades. Note that it doesn't say that it's pH adjusting. It is $42. A powder blush, $40. That means this lip balm is $2 more expensive than the blush. And here's why that's wild. I love expensive makeup. You know one thing about me, if you watch my channel for 1 second, you know I love to spend too much money on makeup. One piece of makeup. You know this about me. If this is your everyday lip balm, you are gonna run through it every 1 to 2 freaking months. And then you're gonna have to buy it again. This powder blush, $40. Less expensive than this lip balm, will probably last you quite a few years. It is a powder, and I bet it has a 6 to 12 month shelf life according to the brand. But we all know that we can push the limits of a powder product because they can last a little bit longer, which means that this blush, this powder blush would for sure kind of earn its $40 price point, depending on what you value out of makeup. We all feel differently about that. Some of us will not spend more than $10 on any makeup product. Even if you love a luxury product, a $42 lip balm. Oh, and it has a little Dior charm on it. And that has to be what is the most expensive part. I don't think that this lip balm looks luxurious. I do not think that. I feel like they probably cost so much because of that stupid charm that they pierce the bottle. Oh, how many of those do you think they lose? How many of the bottles do you think they lose in quality assurance where that little puncher doesn't go through the right portion? What show was it where they were stapling condoms to handouts about STD prevention? Was it Degrassi? There was some teen show where that happened. I remember it. I just couldn't tell you what show. You can let me know down in the comments down below. I imagine that there has to be times where it punctures the wrong part. They fill it with the goop and then the goop just shoots out the butt.
What? You shouldn't be doing that. You never stand with your daughter in a pitchfork. What?
Happy Pride Month! I think that is probably why it's so expensive. Oh, please don't buy that lip balm. I think the blushes are pretty. Oh my God, but do not buy this lip balm. Do you want to know one of the things I've been tagged in a lot recently that people saw and they said, Tom needs to know about this? Unironically, not to sass it, they were like, Tom would like this. Makeup Forever made like chubby sticks and they are like multi-use are you seeing my hoo-ha? They made these multi-use stick products, these chubby sticks, and people were like, Tom would love this. And what's really nice about them, they come in some colors that they make in other products, which means that Endless Cacao, which is a favorite lip liner of mine, comes in this formula, which most people I think were like, Tom could use this as a cool contour. But I have said this a couple of times. Endless Cacao is nice and it is cool tone, but not cool toned enough for me. My needs, my desires for cool tones. Unfortunately, my brain does not compute multi-use products. If I buy a multi-use product, whatever thing I decide that it's for, baby, that is what it's for. It's not for all the things, it's for the one thing. So if I bought one of those and I was like, that's an eyeshadow, it's an eyeshadow stick. If I buy one of those things and I use it as a blush, that's a blush, honey. If I buy one of those things and I put it on my lips, oh baby, that's a lipstick. I think these are cool. They're $33. They come in 24 shades. It's a multi-purpose high pigment color crayon with a waterproof blendable formula available in shimmery and semi-matte shades. This creamy formula has a rich buildable color payoff that can effortlessly sculpt, highlight, and enhance any look. Perfect for cheeks, lips, and eyes. The wide array of shades makes it easy to create anything from neutral and monochromatic looks to bold and artistic ones. I think the color range is great. I think it's also cool that they have a bunch of finishes of these. I think something that's important if you want for eyes, lip, and face. What are you doing in here, honey? Get out. We're not talking about you. We already talked about you, baby. There's only some shades and it's like fewer and fewer. So when you go on the Makeup Forever website and you like look at these, cannot use shades blank, 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 blank on the eyes. Can't use shades blank, 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 blank on the lip. If you feel comfortable doing that, that's on you. I'm not going to take liability for that and neither is Makeup Forever. But they tell you. I really failed to connect to Makeup Forever, not only because they stole $300 from me. They really didn't. It's a whole thing. Who cares? But this strikes me as one of those things that a person is like, I'm gonna use these Makeup Forever things all the time. They buy them. They use them a couple times. They're like, oh, fun, flirty, sexy. Ooh, love it. Ooh, love this product. Ooh, And then they put it in the drawer and that's the end of those. They forget about them. And then they never use them. They fall to the wayside. I wouldn't buy these. And I would recommend them to you. In theory, as long as you're comfortable with it, I will not be liable for any choices you make if you don't look up whether or not these things are lip and eye safe. But like any cream product in your makeup collection could also do this. Just food for thought. You don't need this. Right now, I've been really into Omen from Rituel Defeat, and I think that they say that you can use it on your lips and eyes as well. I need to make my way around town. Is there something you like? You like? Benefit has released their Glow La La highlighters. I think there has been a liquid version of these already released. Now I gotta tell you, Samantha, I do not care about benefit. There's no benefit to me. You can't benefit. There's no benefit. Sometimes you try to be funny and you're not.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I saw these and I was like, oh, what drugstore brand is releasing these beautiful highlighters? And then I learned that they were benefit highlighters. And I was like, they're benefit highlighters? Okay, so I'm like a little bit less interested in because the packaging is a bit evocative of drugstore, but whatever. The branding of benefit is confusing. It's tough. At least they're not in those deep-welled boxes because I think they're kind of expensive. They come in 6 shades. They are $38. Benefit's weightless, long wear, baked Glow La La blurring powder highlighter gives a seamless glass-like glow to the skin. $38 for $2 more, you can get a Dior blush. Now, a blush and a highlighter are 2 different products, but I'm just saying for $40, designer Dior, if that's important to you. But for $2 less, you're getting Benefit. In my head, Benefit's a mid-range brand. In my head, About Face and Benefit are the same price, but Benefit's prestige, honey. Well, And they are sure charging you for it now. There's no perceived value in a benefit product for me. I will not spend $38 on it. But there is something when I hear like Dior, I'm like, that of course is $40. Benefit? No way. No. Let's remove the price point. Baked. There's a lot of those words that I do like, and I think it sounds like it would be pretty. I have seen someone swatch them. Maybe it was Michelle Wong, and she said they feel really creamy. And so that leads me to wonder, because I feel like the Gucci highlighters are also baked. I'm wondering if they're whatever that is, whatever that weird baked goop formula is. I'm wondering if these are like a similar formula. You will not catch me out on these streets buying a 38 Zoll hair highlighter from Benefit. No ma'am. No sir. No they them. It's really the end of the world. $38. Benefit. No. Every critical SASS, there's a product I'm scared to talk about being released by a popular brand in the indie community. Ooh, this time it's blendbunny, honey. Blendbunny partnered up with Jordan Liberty to do... I gotta tell you, I guess I don't really know what the concept is here. I don't know Jordan Liberty, but I've only heard good things about Jordan Liberty in the space. People are like, Jordan... fabulous. Love Jordan. By a proxy, I love Jordan too. But I gotta tell you, as an outsider who doesn't care about blendbunny and only recently now loves Jordan Liberty, again, I don't know what they do. This is just like, huh? Let's go through the products. I have math for us to talk about. Tom's doing math. Queer doing math. Oh, during Pride Month. You did this to me, Jordan Liberty and blendbunny. You're making me do math. You are making me do math too. Oh my God, I'm in the wrong profession. My job is math. I actually had a job where like my whole job was doing math. Can you believe? I actually can't believe. We're gonna talk about the blush palette first. That's this one right here. The blush palette, $72. This masterclass pro cheek palette includes 15 individually designed shades that work on a wide variety of skin tones. 12 buttery mattes, 1 brilliant luster, and 2 satiny blush highlights are optimized to be worn alone or layered for multi-dimensional effects. Created by pro makeup artist, that's what he does, Jordan Liberty. Inspired by his global makeup masterclasses, each of the 15 pro cheek colors are richly pigmented and allow effortless versatility, from natural looks to high-level artistry depending on the brush used and pressure applied during application. Magnetic pans allow for depotting and customization. On the website, there wasn't really specifics about like how much was in each product. It did say 3.1 ounces of product on the outside packaging from what I could see on the photos on their website. So these numbers might be a little bit off. If you were to buy one NARS full-size blush, I think it's like $38 or something like that, and you get 0.17 ounces. The math, if the 3.1 ounces is correct, you get about 18 full-size NARS blushes in this blush palette. Math is probably a little bit off. You're one person. If you're a makeup artist, I'm not really talking to you. This might be worth it for you. If you're an individual, I just want you to imagine this. You went to Sephora and you're just going through and just like, you're allowing yourself to put whatever you want in your basket. You're just like, that can go in, that can go in. And then there's all of a sudden 18 full-size blushes in your basket. That would feel wild. Of course, it would be expensive to buy that many blushes. You buy all those blushes. Imagine walking through the threshold of your home and you were like, I have 18 blushes. 18 blushes? 18 full-size blushes all at once? That's a lot. No one needs 15 full-size blushes all at once. And no normal person, and I would have to argue most makeup artists probably have a pretty well-rounded blush collection already. I do like these are magnetic so that if you are someone who likes to move things around, or if you are a makeup artist who wants to depot them and put them in packaging that's better for you to take in your kit, great. I love that thought process. As far as I can tell, I don't follow blendbunny, I don't follow Jordan Liberty. I don't know if there's any plans to allow people to buy like singular shades. Like if you use up a shade, you'll be able to replace the shade. I would think that would be a smart idea, and it might not have been possible now at this initial launch. I think that's something that should be considered, especially if we are considering this to be like a pro line, because I would say like most working makeup artists probably have quite a few blushes that would replicate some of the blushes in this blush palette. And then most normal people, if you are a makeup enthusiast, I probably have more than 18 blushes. So to bring in 15 more blushes could potentially more than doubling your blush collection all at once. Not only that, and I just clocked this not that long ago, that the gradient on the outside of the packaging is from purple to orange, and all of the products on the side are like purple to orange. I don't know if there will be like different gradients in the future, if that's the plan. If that is the plan, cool. I think that this outside packaging is really pretty. I just do not see a world where it is worth any amount amount of money to bring in 15 blushes all at once. And of course, you probably can use them as eyeshadows too, but like those must be big pans based on the amount of product that I've done the math on. It just seems like a lot of product. I have been told that the packaging is pretty heavy and pretty luxe feeling, which is nice, but maybe not the thing that makes the most sense for a pro makeup artist, because you want light, efficient, easy to take with you things. Perhaps something that heavy you would want to not take something that heavy. I don't know, depends on the makeup artist and what they're into. It's like not making sense to me personally. It's just a lot. And like a lot of my friends got this in PR. A lot of my friends want to buy this. The allure is not there for me. This is one of those things where it's like there's a perceived value and the value isn't true. When was the last time you used up one blush? How long do you think it would take to use up all these blushes? If I'm looking at the palette reasonably, there's maybe 5 blush shades that I would use for me personally. In reality, there's probably only 2 blushes in this palette that I would use regularly, and maybe one that I would fall in love with and use all the time. Essentially, what that would devolve into is I have paid $72 for one blush plus 14 other blushes that I'll never use. There's no value in that for me. You have to do the math and make your decisions on whether or not that makes sense to you. But I think for most people, that would make a lot of sense. Please go see my face palettes are a scam video I just posted recently if you want to hear further thoughts on my thoughts on face palettes. This falls right into that category. There were brushes and lip oils. I don't want to talk about them, but let's talk about the Pro Luster palette. It's $38, and the Pro Luster palette features 4 highly pigmented topper shades designed to dazzle with an almost wet-like shine and micronized diamond shimmer. I think there's one of these lusters in the big palette. I don't know if that one shade overlaps into this. I didn't look that far into it. And based on the way that they are described, that's not something I would want to put on my cheek personally. This is lasting, but they also kind of talk about them as if they are toppers. A palette of 4 toppers would be great. This seems like one of those products that like less is more. So I would even think a working makeup artist, if this was something that they would want, they wouldn't need a full face palette of it unless they do a lot of editorial stuff. But I think that maybe a pan half the size and a cost half that would probably be more appealing to me. And they come in the same sunset colors that seem to come in the blush palette. The warm purples and the oranges just kind of do nothing for me. If this was like cool toned lavender silver or something, I probably would be singing a different tune. I still wouldn't buy, I don't need full face pan sizes of whatever this product is and whatever I would use it for. If they sold refills of them, I think that would be better. I don't understand this product really, and I won't, I guess. I'm happy that this exists. I'm happy for Jordan. blendbunny, I swear to God, I don't hate you. I just feel like the products that you release are just like not made for me. And that continues into this new venture that we're exploring here. Kosas discovered color. Kosas was like, you want color? Oh, we'll release 3 new blushes in colorful shades. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There's been an elephant in the room for the last couple of months, and it's Morphe's rebrand. And we haven't really discussed it. I have tried one of the products from the rebrand. They've released some other things that are pretty good looking. I want to talk about them. They released the Solo Artist Priming Cream eyeshadow, $10. They come in 7 shades. Put your eyes in the spotlight with Morphe's powerfully pigmented soft matte Solo Artist Priming Cream shadow. Infused with priming and moisturizing ingredients, it delivers a seamless performance every time with comfortable, weightless application, enhanced hydration, and all-day wear. Morphe is making me do something and think something that I just don't like that I'm thinking. I think they're killing it. I think they're doing great. I love to see what I'm seeing. I think that they're out here putting out the product, putting out great products. These, I think, are supposed to maybe be like Morphe's take on a paint pot from MAC. They also kind of look like the Solo shadows from Merit. Mine just dried out. I had a paint pot for like 5 years that never dried out. If this is more like the paint pots in the Merit Solo shadows, then I think this is great. $10. So if you've never tried to use up a MAC paint pot, they take forever to finish. Well, it does kind of like look like a Merit Solo shadow from the top. It doesn't like feel like a true dupe. Like it still has a bit of its own identity. A potted cream eyeshadow is a potted cream eyeshadow. You're gonna sell it in a twisty topped thing. I know the original owners of Morphe no longer are part of Morphe. Whoever took over and is actually like running it, like being the creative director right now, I think is killing it, because this isn't the only thing that I think Morphe is like really excelling at. I did buy that Cloud Light Set powder thing that they released, and it was really good. I like the thing that I already use better than that. It was was also, I think, $16 for that powder. Pretty reasonably priced for the kind of powder it was. They also released these 6-pan eyeshadow palettes. So they are $15 each. They come in 6 colorways. Discover Morphe eyeshadows remastered with the Chroma Plus 6-pan eyeshadow palettes. Powered by a Chroma Plus blend, these all-new formulas deliver pigment-packed performance in all-day wear. Effortlessly build dimension with buildable mattes, shimmers, metallics, and exclusive molten metals. You know what that sounds like to me? It sounds like Morphe has created a more affordable drugstore version of Pat McGrath baked shades, a more affordable version of Chantecaille baked shades, a more affordable version of even Bakiko Milano baked shades. And they put them in the palette. They sell it for less. Who do they think they are? Roomful Express? I'm a poet. I'm Hannah Louise Poston. See, there are like some matte shades, there are some shimmer shades, and then there are these baked shades. Erica Tesla, she has some of these. I've been watching her do some looks with them on TikTok. They look really pretty on her, and I think she likes them. Pat McGrath has been degrading the brand. If I can get some of those pretty baked shades in a $15 palette, I think the outside packaging in the palettes is also kind of cute. I like this rebrand. I just think it's good. And I was there for the original run. I know a lot of you were there for the original run of Morphe. I think what they're doing is kind of impressive. But there are some cute colorways. They have like a little bit of a lavender one. If I saw that in person, I would definitely swatch it. It wouldn't take much to persuade me into buying a $15 eyeshadow palette. Doesn't mean I should. I have a lot of the Pat McGrath baked shades. Doesn't Makeup by Mario also, I don't know if he still sells it, but he had like a molten kind of thing that he had a palette of those. I think this is kind of slay. They have a 12-pan version of these palettes. I don't like those as much, and I don't think that they have the molten colors in them. I would sooner buy one of the 6-pans. And I also think that the color stories they curated were quite good. I hate to say it, but is Morphe the recession Pat McGrath? Of course, all brands are created to make money, and that is also what Morphe is out to do. And I mean, I don't know how well it's doing for them from the outside. I just think they're like doing a really good job trying to rebuild the name of that brand and build goodwill. And as long as they keep it kosher, like if they start giving out affiliate codes again, like everyone knows how affiliate codes work, that they're people who are doing their affiliate marketing are being honest about it. I just think if they stay on the up and up as much as they brand can, I'm not mad to see them still around, I guess. The way they shut down their stores was terrible, and those people all lost their jobs and they didn't know they were going to. It was really terrible. So bad. There's so many bad things that Morphe has done. This feels like a good faith effort, pushing them into a new direction. They are still a makeup brand. I don't trust them, but I like what I see. Danessa Myricks released this palette, and you want me to hate it. You want me to tell you that I hate it. I'm here to report that I land somewhere more in the middle than hate or love. It's $48, a 6-shade multi-chrome all-over face palette featuring foil flake metallic shimmers and color-accurate soft mattes. What does that mean? I guess is color accurate mean like what you see in the pan is the color that you're gonna get on your face. I have a bit of a rocky road relationship with Danessa Myricks. They're not doing a Pride release this year, so I think that's ultimately good because they didn't seem to know how to run their Pride releases. I think it's cute, but I saw this, I was like, didn't Artist Couture already release that palette? I feel like every spring, summer, someone releases this palette. This year it was Danessa Myricks. Couple years ago, it was Artist Couture. I feel like someone released this color story last year. It's always pretty, and I think there's always a thing in me that's like, I want to be the person who wears like that kind of blue color. But I guess I'm just like not that person. I definitely have all these colors in my makeup collection, so it's not like something that I couldn't do if I wanted to. I'm happy to see, assuming that this is the same exact size of the other 6-pans that came out in that holiday release that you could put into that big palette. I love to see it. Danessa Myricks' brand has been a little inconsistent about how they're putting out powder eyeshadows. So every Lightwork before the new Lightwork system, they were all kind of like big cardboard palettes. I don't think that those were magnetic. They kind of like fixed that, but then they also have the Groundwork palettes too. And the Groundwork pans are different sizes than the pans that are in this. So that was also confusing, but I think it's smart. Even if we're doing cream eyeshadows as well as powder eyeshadows, I think they all should be the same size and they should all fit into this mechanism. $48 for a 6-pan. It's not that I haven't paid that much money for something that size before. For me, I wouldn't buy that. This fantasy isn't really selling it to me, and like the Danessa Myricks system branding just doesn't also work for me. I know a lot of people love her stuff. I have tried a bit of Danessa Myricks things, and I haven't really enjoyed much of them. I have one of the primers right now. I think it's nice, but I don't think I would buy a full size of it. Nothing about this brand like really resonates with me. I wouldn't pay $50 for it, but if you break it down, there's 3 multi-chrome shades in here. 3 multi-chromes from like Cliona would be like $16 to $18 a piece. So like it's a good deal if you think about it that way. I'm not trying to say it's not. Normally her price per multi-chrome or special shades is pretty good whenever you break it down with how much you're getting. What I would love to see, and I think this is expensive and probably why she's not doing it, I would just love to see like single pans of eyeshadow from Danessa Myricks. If I were to buy anything for the brand, I would try a shade maybe. She released some cool individual shades, so I'm not sure if that's something that's going to come down the pipeline. I would love to see that because I also think that people who already have this system would also love to be able to buy one of these 6-pan holders and then also buy 6 shades, and then maybe you get a little bit of a deal on it and they ship them all to you separately and you put them all together. I think that would be something to consider. I would rather have just the individual pans because I have a bunch of magnetic pans. I can make my own color stories with other shades. You know, I just would want to incorporate into what I already got. I don't want to have to like buy into the Danessa Myricks system. If we are going to continue to release eyeshadows like this, I think that's great. I would love to see that big pan that holds 3 of the 6 pans come back as something that people can buy. Maybe that already has happened. I think it's a pretty good Danessa Myricks release, but it's still not something I'm super interested in. And also, if you are interested in this, what about it interests you? Do you already like this color story? Do you have that artist couture palette? You might not even need this. Can you take some of your singles and put them together and duplicate this? Because in a reality, is this a high use color story for you? To me, this seems like a color story that I would want to have out for a couple months of the year and then probably wouldn't use again. So if I could pull that from my magnetic pans and my singles and make this and just kind of play with that for every now and then I think that would be the better way to do it. I'm busy. What do I got? This is my microphone. Do you want to say hello? I'm going to hold it. You can say whatever you want to say.
Hello.
You can say hi to my subscribers. You can say whatever you want. What do you have anything you need to say to the people?
No.
Okay.
Are you taken aback by how Tata looks?
I am wearing pretty intense makeup, but it's just me.
It's just makeup.
I'll wash it off later.
Isn't it cool? Tata did that all on their own. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
They're so talented.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on a YouTube video.
Just like you watch on the TV.
Yeah, like where Danny Go lives. Yeah. Tiff, do you have anything to impart on the people?
Girl.
The next product is actually something I'm delighted to share with you. I think it's a good idea and it's something rare. So there's a new brand. I think you can already buy these, but The People of Earth, I think is the name of the brand, and they have a face base. It's $33 for 7.5 grams. Face base is a lightweight gel-like cream providing medium coverage and a natural satin finish that evens out skin tone. Available in 72 shades with 6 undertones, 12 distinct depth levels, plus 5 shade adjusters to ensure that you meet your match. Basically, at each level, there's 6 tones. At level 1, there's neutral, warm, cool, and then there's olive, neutral olive, warm olive, and cool olive. And then there's the adjusters just in case none of the 72 shades are a perfect match for you. I think this is really cool. We very rarely see indie brands start with complexion products. And if an indie brand has complexion products, normally the shade range is rather limited. And there's normally like 1 neutral shade at every depth, and they might have like 6 of them. And they normally make them lighter coverage so it can flex. I understand that offering a lot of skin tones and ranges is expensive, and that's why we don't really see indie brands doing it. And even oftentimes when we see major brands launch a complexion product, it normally starts smaller and grows over time because it's expensive to do that. This is one of those things that like I definitely want to buy it to kind of support it, and I also just want to try it. Like I just want to see if the formula is any good. They're magnetic pans because it's like a cream formula, and yeah, no, I definitely want to get my hands on one of these, if not some of them, just to try them out and maybe swatch them. Because when I was looking at the latest shades, I thought, oh, the cool olive shade might work better than the like neutral shade, but who knows? I don't want to claim to be a fair olive. I don't want to take that moniker on. I don't take on that kind of responsibility. I don't think I could, but I just think this is so great. And I also just love the clever marketing of it on a canvas. Like it's so cool. I just think it's cool. I don't know the person who started this brand. I just think that this is a great idea. It's really inclusive and I think it's great. And it does seem like there's a really logical next series of steps that they could do where they can make blushes, contours, bronzers, and highlights all in magnetic pans. Something akin to Salt New York. I could just see it. I think it would work. 7.5 grams is a pretty generous amount for $33. If you compare it to some of the brands in Sephora, I think the price per gram is pretty good. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. No. Oh, daddy boy. The pipes are calling. Don't worry about me, just a little. Is that from my fall? This is from P. Louise. This is their Wedding Wish Bridal Series, the Big Day XXXL palette, $75.50, 150 shades, 50 shades per finish. This is insanity. So there's 50 cream formulas, 50 powder matte, 50 shimmers, and they're all in browns. Even if you like colorful makeup, I would have to imagine your selection of browns is also large. Anyone who's into makeup who buys eyeshadow palettes probably has so many brown eyeshadows in their makeup collection. Or if you are into like browns and nudes or whatever, you probably have more than one palette and they probably are a bunch of different undertones. So you already have this. I can't imagine any one person needing 150 shades, even a makeup artist. And if you are a makeup artist, you don't want this big of a thing. This thing is enormous, huge. It is so much. I do feel as though like $75.50 price per gram with how much you get in here is probably like a good deal, but you freaking don't need this. I know we're talking about P. Louise. P. Louise is bad. I wouldn't buy from P. Louise personally. And no, I'm not going to get into all of the controversies of P. Louise. That's what Google's for. There's probably so many commentary videos on P. Louise and how P. Louise is bad. I just needed to point out that this monstrosity, one, existed. Two is an awful release. It's so big. I already don't like storing 15 pan palettes, let alone something with 150 shades. Not only that, this is someone who does not have an artistic eye putting an eyeshadow palette together. If we think of some other brands that have different selections of neutral shades between like warm and cool and mid-tone and deep and things like that, there's a vision for the 15 shades in them. There's no vision here other than more is more. You could probably take this down to 15 shades, 5 creams, 5 mattes, and then 5 shimmers, and be able to do all the looks with those 15 shades that you would have been able to do with this 150 shades. It reminds me a lot of whenever Natasha Denona released the Xenon palette after releasing the mini Xenon palette, when the mini Xenon palette, which was only 5 shades, could do most of the work that the 15 pan Xenon palette could do. Also, Beauty Bay a couple years ago released a grayscale palette, and it came in 3 different sizes. I think there was a 9 pan, a 15 pan, and then there was like a 50 pan. To do grayscale makeup, you need a black and a white. That's all you need. And someone who's skilled enough to work with the black and white can make their own grayscale and make their own grays as they're working on your face. So like, you don't need this many browns. Of course, there's different undertones or whatever. Someone might like the Natasha Denona I Need a Warm over the I Need a Nude because like the browns in the I Need a Warm are warmer and might work for someone with a warmer complexion, whereas something like I Need a Nude works with someone who has like more neutral to cool undertones. So that's the kind of editing that this just doesn't have. And I think something I am paying for whenever I'm buying an eyeshadow palette is a vision that someone else had that I couldn't have come up with by myself. And I would need the assistance for someone to put those colors in front of me and be like, okay, to make the looks that you want to make with this kind of colors, you need these 15 shades and like this is what you can do with those 15 shades. Whereas this is like, good luck, like there's no vision here other than like, I guess you wear neutrals on your wedding day. It's a bad release. It's terrible. It's awful. I would never buy this. I do not recommend you to buy this. I'm not going to link to this. It's shit. Everybody really loves Huda's brand, and I get it, but I do think that this release is a bit of a flop. Huda's releasing these lip stains for $25, and there's 1 ml of product in it. I got PR from CoverGirl last year for their lip stain, which is like the same thing that this is, and they're $12, and I have to bet there are some brands even cheaper than CoverGirl that sell a lip stain. If you buy the CoverGirl one, you get almost 3 times the amount of product that you get in this Huda lip contour stain, and there are many more shades of the CoverGirl stain than there are going to be of this Huda lip stain. Not only is CoverGirl offering you more product, they're offering you more colors, so I just think that that's a better buy. And why is Huda duping a drugstore product? Like, why would I pay more for that? Not only that, the CoverGirl ones dried out very quickly, and there was 3 times the amount of product. And unless Huda has come up with some ingenious mechanism to make it not dry out, perhaps it would be worth the $25, but we won't know that until someone gets it and it dries out on them and how long it takes for it to dry out on them. So maybe buy the CoverGirl ones for $12 and buy one of the many shades that they have to offer. And I'm not being paid by CoverGirl to say that. I'm just saying it is just quite the better option. Not only that, this lip stain, you could do it with any lip stain. So if you have like a lip gloss stain, if you just take a pencil brush and put that on your lips as a lip contour, it'll do the same thing that this is. You don't even need it to be this way. If you have a lip stain, you can do this. And not only that, this isn't even the popular form of lip stain right now. It seems like the Satchu lip stains, I don't think I said that right, the Sashu are the popular stains du jour. I don't know, this just seems like a pretty bogus release to me. Another brand I don't talk about a lot because I don't buy from them, ABH released, this is kind of laughable to me. Like, it's actually laughable. They released these Touch Cream Blush and Lip Trios. These are $30. This is a multi-purpose cream formula for cheeks and lip that features a silky, gel-like texture that seamlessly blends with a soft, blurred finish for a flawless, natural look. If you've never bought like professional makeup, this looks like a professional concealer container. Who in the regular market would want something like this? And not only that, part of the appeal about buying a blush palette like something like this is that you get a pretty palette in order to store it. This is like very utilitarian, and for it to be $38 just feels like really egregiously expensive for what it is. I don't really know how much product you get in them, so maybe you get a generous amount of product for that $38. Mary, you're not gonna catch me out here buying a $40 blush trio that looks like that. And I don't buy blush palettes. I already said that earlier when we talked about the Jordan Liberty Masterclass palette. At least Jordan Liberty was serving us a fantasy. Like blendbunny and Jordan Liberty was serving us like a fantasy. There's no like fantasy self about like these trios. They're just kind of like, we made these, we put them out, and there you go. I know that a lot of people stopped buying from ABH when the Norvina of it all happened, and the thing with the collab palettes coming out very quickly, and then the Norvina palettes were pushed out. And then on top of that, whenever Anastasia seems to be pro-Putin, so it's like they've done all these bad things. They're not doing anything interesting to even pretend like we can forget about that. Everything that they have released since then has been so boring. Their branding, if you go into a Sephora right now, is just so beige. It's like there's no personality at all anymore. I don't know, it's pretty bad. Anyways, I won't buy from ABH. I don't recommend you to buy from ABH, but it's just like, okay, is this all you're gonna offer us? You're not really even giving us a fantasy to go off of. My favorite internet bully, and not yours, because I get the feedback a lot that no one really likes her, Charlotte Tilbury, who recently bullied Huda and some other people, is releasing blush sticks. These are what they look like. And guess what? There's lavender. Despite my best efforts, Charlotte Tilbury products work very well on my skin. I like the way they work. No diggity. I just like the products. And it's not even the packaging that's part of the allure for me. Most Charlotte Tilbury products I try tend to work for me. And I don't like that. I don't like that. So whenever the brand releases something, I have a little bit of interest in it, at the very least because of the brand and my history in trying their products. But when Charlotte Tilbury is getting butthurt about every single thing every single person says about her on the internet, it makes the brand more and more less. More or less, makes it more and more just harder. What am I trying to say? I don't want to buy from the brand if this is how the brand owner is acting. I have a lot of thoughts about brand owners being the face of their company and then also them trying to use their platform for other things. And I think Charlotte's a very good example of this. I think Charlotte is lucky that I think probably a good majority of her audience that probably buys her products regularly have no idea how she's behaving right now, because it's a little bit ludicrous. Because I would have to imagine demographically that Charlotte Tilbury's target demo isn't young people. It's probably people in their 40s and 50s who might not be on social media as much. So they're probably missing all this weird stuff that Charlotte is doing on the internet. It makes me not want to buy it, but I'm still tempted by it for all of the other reasons. Oh, cream blush. Ooh, lavender cream blush. Ooh, pick your poison. Are you going to buy from Dior? Are you going to buy from Charlotte Tilbury? Well, I'm not going to buy from either. I do have a Wisp from Phytosurgeons, which is a lavender blush. And I also have this blush from Trixie Cosmetics that is pretty, like, it's like a pink that leans a little bit purple. That's kind of similar to this color and the Dior lavender that I was into. So I don't need either of them. I gotta say, I'm tempted. Whenever I was on my phone today, Sephora gave me a push notification and was like, you could buy these today. I had to say, no, not doing that, but I might. Anyway, since we're talking about this and I talked about how I already have the shade Wisp, the next video I post on my channel is going to be a video called the After SASS. What I'd like to do in the After SASS is take all of the things that we talk about in today's video and I go in my makeup collection and I try to find the thing in my makeup collection that's closest to it, and then I do a full face of makeup inspired by the recent releases. I feel like we're definitely gonna be using Wisp in that video. Oh, I didn't give you any information about these blush sticks. They're $42. They come in 6 shades. An ultra hydrating luminous blush with buildable blendable color that lasts up to 8 hours on the cheek. I was scared to talk about Blend Bunny, but you know I'm always scared to talk about? The cult of Lisa Eldridge. I'm sorry, you guys are a cult. Anytime that woman whispers at the hint of something coming out, you guys already have your credit cards out to buy it and you don't even care what it is because Lisa Eldridge is putting it out. I just want to say something very quick. I pussyfooted around it before, but the reason I pick on Lisa Eldridge is because there are direct parallels in the way that I felt about the brand Pat McGrath that I see a lot of people talk about and discuss Lisa Eldridge. Obviously, Pat McGrath is a different brand than Lisa Eldridge, and the way that they do things and make things is very different. However, I will encourage you, if you are a Lisa Eldridge fan, to take a step back and look at the products that she's releasing and make sure that it's something that's going to actually add value to your collection, not something that you are buying simply because you like Lisa Eldridge, because that is what I think I see most of the time. Just because I don't get along with the eyeshadows, I did try the eyeshadows. I don't like her eyeshadow formula, so this wouldn't be something that would entice me to begin with. Just because I don't like them doesn't mean that I think like everything that she puts out is bad. I know that people can like a formula I don't like, but just think about it. If you already have a bunch of Lisa Eldridge eyeshadow palettes, how often are you using them already? What would bringing in a new eyeshadow palette from her mean and be like in your collection? Not only that, I actually think this is the most specific color story, maybe besides the purple one that Lisa has put out and the one that was for her cat or whatever, but this one I think is a little more specific. It's like this green palette, and this is something that if you like this color story, you already have. You might have the Natasha Denona Yucca palette. You might have some grungy color stories from indie brands that you really like. Like, this is something, if you like greens, you already have them. And if you don't already have these greens in your makeup collection, may I offer some food for thought for you? Why don't you have green eyeshadows in your makeup collection already? Do you wear a lot of green eyeshadows? Do you only want to wear green eyeshadows because Lisa Eldridge put out a green eyeshadow palette, or are you actually deeply compelled by the color green and are going to wear it all of the time? Maybe if you don't wear a lot of green, don't buy this eyeshadow palette. And if you have some green eyeshadows in your makeup collection, try wearing those for a couple of weeks and only wearing those and get your head around having a green eyeshadow palette. And if you don't want to wear those, you probably won't want to wear this 6-pan eyeshadow palette. There's a lot of color stories we have seen similar to this. This is a really good condensed green color story, like a green yucky color story. I don't think it's an unappealing palette, but it's a specific palette, and you either love this or you hate this, or you're hating this, but you're pretending to love it because Lisa Eldridge released it. And what is the truth? And you have to answer that question for yourself. Anyway, you could buy this, you could not. I'm just putting that out there as food for thought. So while I've been filming, I got a couple of DMs to talk about a product, and I don't normally do this, and I wasn't intending on talking about this, but Farah Hamidi released 4 new bronzer shades. Let me just pull up the listing. I think these are already out, and you can buy them. We're really flying by the seat of our pants. I got a direct message from Ananda to SASS these, and when Ananda asks me for a favor, I can repay that favor. The bronzer is $78, and you can't buy it on Sephora's website yet, but I know that Sierra has this, and maybe she got it in PR. I have no idea, but I have seen people using this. So it comes in 4 shades, and the lightest shade is Bois or Bois, and it's a beige tan with cool pink undertones. And that really speaks to me. But I think that Ananda was really enticed by Lumen, which is a tan with golden undertones. There's a tawny tan with warm undertones, and then there's Mahogany, which is a tan deep with warm undertones. $78 for the full size package, and then it's $42 for the refill sizes. I'm not gonna lie to you, I did almost buy this to talk about on my channel. If you don't know this already, I have an empty concealer compact from Farah Hamidi. I tried the concealer didn't really work for me. Didn't love it. I think that the refill will fit in that compact. So I was almost just gonna buy the refill at launch, which one thing I will say about Farah Hamidi, whenever she launches something, if it's refillable, the refills always launch the same day. And I think that's because she's a working makeup artist, and makeup artists don't always want to carry the bulky packaging around. I have the Farah Hamidi packaging. It's weighty, it's nice, it's very akin to what Westman Atelier puts out in compacts. There's a lot of fantasy in the Farah Hamidi of it all. I'm not gonna lie, I swept up into this as well because of the color of the lightest bronzer shade. I have rosy bronzers right now. And if you are someone who is compelled by one of these colors, you've probably been on the hunt for that color for a while. There's a lot of people who have cooler undertones that a lot of bronzers will show up orange on them. There's always this hunt for rosy bronzers because on some of us, we need like a pink warmth as opposed to an orange warmth or a yellow warmth or a red warmth. Whereas some other skin tones and undertones are looking for red or orange or yellow to add the warmth back into their skin. And it seems that these were very considered bronzer shades from Farah Hamidi, and I love to see it. And sometimes whenever you see something that you would love, you want to support it. However, I have, and it was gifted to me by a friend, the Gucci bronzer, which is a fair rosy bronzer. And it works beautifully, and I love it. And it's a bronzer I reach for all the time. Not only that, I recently fell in love with a cream bronzer from Trixie Cosmetics that I bought, and I can't shut up about it. So if you only check in for Critical Sass, you might have missed this, but I'm like halfway through that bronzer. I love that bronzer. It's so good. So for me to buy this as a consumer and not as someone who reviews makeup on the internet, there's no space in this for my mind right now. I have the Gucci bronzer. I love it. I have the Trixie bronzer. I love it. I also have 2 other bronzers that don't get taken out as much because I don't love them as much. So adding this 6th bronzer or 5th or 6th bronzer into my makeup collection is kind of like, I don't need that. And if you're a makeup lover, you probably have already found the bronzer that you love to wear the most. Now we are heading into summertime. Everyone's really into bronzer right now. Everyone wants to warm up their skin and look gorgeous and glowing in the sun. Everybody wants that. But what about the bronzer you bought last year? What about the bronzer you bought 2 years ago to live your summer fantasy? What's wrong with them? Are they not satisfactory anymore? What about this Farah Hamidi one is compelling to you? Anyway, I don't think you need it. I don't think anyone needs it. The one thing I do wish that Farah Hamidi would do is just release regular magnetic pans. Her pans are magnetic, but they have this like embossing on the bottom of the initials FH. They're like the logo. And when you put them into the compact, it kind of like, it doesn't like snap in, but it just like, it only fits that one shape of compact. That's really annoying, and I wish that they would reconsider that. Any which way, I just don't think we all need this bronzer. It's beautiful, it's compelling, it's been sent to me many times. Marco messaged me about it today. Ananda messaged about it today. My friend Andromeda messaged about it a couple weeks ago. I saw it before anyone messaged me about it, and I said, ooh, I want that, but I thought we could all ignore it. But I'm here to sass it, and I will after sass it in my next video for you. Anyway, I have to get back to the existential dread, and I think you do too, so I'm sorry to send you out so abruptly. Bye!